taking a couple days off from filming because I hurt my ankle and I just needed to take some time and rest and chillax, and I did that. And today we are starting up with my series of videos talking about how I've planned this year and how I plan to plan in the new year. Lots of planning and talking about planning and planning about planning. And today what I'm going to do is walk through my planner from where it began in July of 2017 to where it is now at the end of December 2017. So this is a half of a year in my Erin Condren hourly neutral planner. This is a 12-month planner. Now I am actually not someone who's used the 12-month planners recently because they didn't offer that in the academic calendar July through June. They offer July through December the following year. I follow the school year and I wanted to get a new planner rather than getting one that started in January. It just made more sense to me. So this year when they offered the 12-month option, I was like, fuck yes. I'm gonna try and stay in this book all year. I will talk more about the planners that I intend to use this next year in detail in a video tomorrow. But for today, let's just suffice it to say that I want to try and get one full planner without switching around and being, you know, like a chicken with my head cut off. You'll note I never write my name on it. I write other people's names in their planners all the times at meetups, but I never get around to doing it in my own. Haven't done anything with this yet either except for test a pen. You'll find as we go through this, these extras, I don't often use them. And I don't know why. It's just not really something that calls to me. So this is my monthly for July. Now this is the one place in the whole planner that I have back planned. I started out the first couple months of this year in a colorful planner and then I decided I didn't like it. So I moved over to the neutral. But I wanted to keep this for record of like when my daughter went to camp and when we had custody and blah, blah, blah. So I just copied everything from my monthly spread over to this spread. And this was the only one I had to do that for. I use washi tape to mark off chunks of time. My monthly calendar is generally very, very utilitarian, not a lot of decoration. It's just writing in appointments and things. And then I use washi tape to mark either custody with my kids, which is usually the skinny washi tape. July was a very light custody month because of how we arrange 2-week periods during the summer. I had them a lot more in June and August. My daughter was at camp, so I used a strip of washi here with a Chrissy Ann Design sticker to mark it. And then my mother-in-law was in California for the latter half of July. And again, I used a Chrissy Ann Design stickers to mark that and then washi tape. And these are both from Simply Gilded. So here is my first spread. This one, as you can see, I'm not gonna pull it out because it's a pain in the ass to get stuck back in. But if you wanna move planner pages from one to the other and you don't wanna recoil, which is where I was at, Kristen from Chrissy Ann Designs actually held my hand and walked me through the process. You snip pages at each of the coils and pull it out like you would a planner cover and then pop it back in. And as you can see, it's not perfect, but it moves the planner pages over. And that's what I did. I took out the blank ones and I moved over the ones that I used from the colorful. And you know it's colorful because you can see underneath this washi tape the painted petals on the sides, which I tried to cover up every time because I really didn't like them. I should have known. I should have just gone with the neutral. I used date covers and things like that from a set from Chrissy Ann Designs and then some Simply Gilded washi. I loved how having these to-do lists and everything else and using the stickers for weather. What I didn't like was how I had to block off to cover the petals up. This is when I already started thinking maybe I'm not gonna like this planner. When I put these washis down the center and I kind of started to condense the to-do list. But as you're gonna see, that wasn't the first time I tried this and I should have known better. This is the 4th of July week and this was when Erin Condren has sent out this 4th of July kind of sticker situation in one of the seasonal surprise boxes. And so I decided to use it here. I really liked the use of colored pencils. I don't use them very often in my planner, but here I use them for my weather and for this big lettering, and here too, like a few spots, and I liked how it turned out. My daughter went to camp this week and I have it marked across the top here, which again, like I do in the calendar, I also tend to do on my weekly spread where I have a piece of washi going across the top with a sticker saying she'll be at camp this week. And then I drove her to camp, but I didn't have to pick her up. So I have this here and I use a strip of washi to mark, again, a big period where I'm doing something. I don't necessarily stick to my hours religiously when it comes to these planners, but I do try to kind of arrange things chronologically. And if I see that I have a big chunk of time blocked off and it starts at like this time, then I know that that's something I really have to pay attention to. This week was the week I experimented with putting it was a Chrissy Design skeleton that she uses for the inkwell press with the 3 boxes on the bottom of the classic layout. And I thought, well, I have so many of these skeletons, why don't I try them in this planner? And I slapped it up on the top. I kind of like how it turned out, except for the fact that I fucked up I like smeared the shit out of everything. But here was where I tried that washi tape thing down the side, and I really did not like how truncated my to-do list felt. This week, Jody Bergeson, who's on Instagram as Jan Bergeson, she and I did the same week with the same kit, just in different ways. I used colored pencils here again. I love the brightness of this, and as you can see, I also used a strip of washi to mark when my mother-in-law was going to be in town. And this was a day I was gone all day at something, and the funny thing is I put family time here at the end, but that really wasn't reality because of traffic. I didn't get back till almost 8, so by the time I got home, we were all like pooped out. This was a live plan with me, a live drunk plan with me, and I will link it up above. This is when I used stencils, and I think it actually did not turn out that bad considering how shitty I am at using stencils. Here's another good example of a month where I've got a lot of custody going on here, and then these fatter washi tapes here, here, and here mark different trips or people being in town. You'll also see that I made a note here about my kid's dentist. Generally speaking, I never use this notes section. I know some people use it for budgeting and shit, but I don't generally use it unless I have something that I need to remember that month, like a quick note about some specific event or something. That's usually what I'll just throw in here. Again, not super fancy. I love this color combination. This started out as one of those kits where they have just the strip and the date covers from Chrissy Designs, and I filled in with some stickers from other sets and some Once More with Love and blah, blah, blah. I just love how bright it is, which is not something I generally do all the time. This was, up until this point, my favorite color combination. This was the holographic summer fun set that came with the summer seasonal surprise box, and I paired it with these holographic rainbowish washi tapes, this one and this one from Simply Gilded, and I just love how beautiful this is, and I love how I was able to keep it really simple with not tons and tons of stickers and a lot of just writing. This really felt like I had hit a stride in how I plan. I did this week as a pen only week. Part of that was because I was going out of town this weekend and I knew I wasn't gonna get around to planning that much over the weekend, and I had a lot of lists I had to make. As you can see, I basically listed the shit out of this week. Sometimes you need a week like this to, you know, reset your calendar. This week, I actually got in swag from the Dallas event I was at. They're a British duo that have a sticker shop, Managing Mischief Co. This I thought was gorgeous, but it's so outside of my comfort zone. And I just love all of this and all of this. Not something I usually do. It felt a little awkward, but at the same time, I really liked it. And I think I want to get some more kits like this to experiment with, sort of keep things fresh without just doing the same thing every week, which I would be totally fine with otherwise. Here is September. Notable on September, see, like I said, here's some info about the trip later in the month. I just dropped it in the notes section. My husband and I went to see It, and we're gonna buy it when it comes out, P.S. We took the kids to see Muse, which was awesome. And then my niece's birthday party, and then my daughter went to Catalina with her school for a week, which was lots of fun for her. And then this appointment here, I didn't know it at the time when I made it with my minister, but this was the appointment my minister was going to submit her resignation to me as board president. Use the Liquid Flare Papermate pens. I have a couple of thoughts. I haven't done a full video on them yet. I plan to, but just from this spread, I love the colors. I do not like that some of them are fluorescent looking and some of them aren't. I feel like having this orange be fluorescent really kind of makes it pop out in a way I don't like from these ones, and then the pink as well. I also don't like how they bleed. You can see it here. Not a fan of that. But I like how they write. I just don't think I like them at my planner. This kit was a Chrissy Designs kit, and I fucking love all of the oranges and shit like that. And it was just a lot of getting shit done all week. Just a lot of getting shit done. This was a Station Stickers week, and she is discontinuing this kit, which makes me very sad. But, you know, all good things must come to an end. I love the color combinations. I love using this Gems, probably one of my favorite washi tapes of the year, in it to kind of pull the colors together. I love the color schemes. I feel like some of these weeks where I use more lettering, I like that better than this one where it's only a few of them. And I know part of that's just because I had a lot to do. It's just something about this that didn't really inspire me. This was an Erin Condren sticker set, and I actually pulled some birthday pieces from the Celebrations collection because of my niece's birthday party this week. I added some more lettering here, as you can see, than I did this week, which made me feel a little bit better. This was also the week before my daughter went to Catalina, so we had to get her packed, which I think I wrote on my planner a couple of times because it just kept not happening. Here's my October calendar, and what I would like to make note of here is that this calendar does not accurately represent what my month looked like. The pages after it do, but this calendar doesn't. My kids were gonna have early release for conferences, and then my Seattle trip to S'mores. What we didn't know was this whole week I was going to be stressed out because I knew that my minister was retiring, but I couldn't tell anybody about it because it wasn't announced to congregation yet. And the other thing that I didn't know in advance was that on this day, the fires were going to start. And for this week and this week, there was no school, mostly no meetings. It was intense. And you're going to see it kind of reflected in my pages, which is kind of a interesting way to look back. So this week was the week my daughter was in Catalina and I had some kidney shittiness. Here's that appointment with my minister. Notice I did not do any more planning for the rest of the week. It wasn't just that. There was some family news that I had gotten that I also couldn't tell anybody about yet. We had to keep secret. And so all weekend I was just frazzled and stressed out and upset, and I couldn't tell anybody about it. And it was really intense. And I would have skipped church that Sunday so I wouldn't have to look anybody in the face, except I had promised to work in the kids' classroom that day. So it was a hard weekend for me to carry that kind of a knowledge and not be able to tell anybody, and to know what it was going to upset people and still not be able to say anything. This week was when I was so wrapped up in that knowledge and also starting to lay the groundwork for finding a minister to cover for us for the rest of the year, since my minister was leaving mid-year. Now, she left because she had some health issues, and we were so glad to have her leave us on that kind of a note rather than having to leave us because she was in the hospital, No shame there. It was, sad and stressful for us. And this was the meeting where my board found out. These are mostly just church meetings and things like that, but I didn't even bother playing in my planner because I didn't have the heart to. And the reason my videos were able to go on this week was because I had done a lot of pre-filming, and that saved my ass both this week and the following week. Now I'm going to give you a sense of the timeline here. This church day right here was when she gave her first sermon after everybody found out she was leaving, and then this night was when the fires started. And I'd not touched my fucking planner that week. We didn't even have power for these 4 days. We didn't leave the house because of the smoke. The kids didn't have school this whole week. We were all trapped in the house with no electricity, no Wi-Fi, no cell phone connection, no refrigeration, no any kind of air filtration. It was intense. And also being afraid we were going to have to evacuate. So it was a stressful week. And then this weekend, I actually had to go to Seattle for the s'mores thing. And part of me was like, maybe I won't go. And I was like, no, I'm going to go. And I did go, and I'm glad I did, but it was pretty intense. This week, I was like, I'm going to get back on the saddle. I'm going to try and get back to my planner. We still had no school this week. Most of the fires had gotten at least under some sort of containment, still burning, but the air quality was wretched. And so school was still out because they still had to go and change the filters out, and they didn't want kids to go to school unless the air quality was better. So they didn't go back until that following Monday. I did have a big development day with my board, and then this day was my minister's last sermon. This week was my minister's last Sunday. She came and celebrated with us. These were the weeks, here was an interview with our new minister. These were the weeks I was getting some work done, but a lot of my time was spent doing the work of a ministerial search committee, which gets done over the course of a couple of months in a matter of a couple of weeks because we lost 2 weeks due to the fires. Here is November. My daughter and son went to a retreat over the weekend here. My family, I didn't even mark it with washi, but my family was all in town, and this was fall break for Thanksgiving. This set I got in Seattle from Cricket Paper Co. Like the Managing Mischiefs, like that London set earlier, this one was way out of my comfort zone. I love how this turned out. I love that I use this specific kind of lettering every night. That's not always feasible, but some weeks it is. And I'm going to try and do that every once in a while. I love the colors, even though the dark ones are really outside of what I feel good about. And I love that I use these stickers for meals and one for a TV show and my kids going to mugs. And I did the weather and this thing, which is not something I do very often, but I liked it this time. This was just a week where I was trying to get a lot of work done, and I was trying to catch up from my, minister search and, fires and getting the new minister acclimated. Just a lot of meetings, a lot of shit, kind of the order of the day. Now here is where you're going to see where shit didn't happen for a happy reason. As you can see here from these strips of different family members getting into town, my family started showing up this day, the same day as my board meeting. And then this was our fake Thanksgiving where we had 30 people at our house, which is a small house. So I'm not sure how it was going to fit everybody. Point being is that once we hit family, I stopped using my planner. And since most of my family was in town until late in the week the next week, and my kids had the whole week off and we had them with us. As you can see, didn't really touch my planner. December, winter break. Here's another rainbow week. One of the things I did here and in a different week was when you have these dates in like this neutral, it's like this box and there's these words here, you know? And if you put a date cover and it doesn't cover it perfectly, you see like the lines in the empty box and even some of the font, and it looks sloppy. So what I was doing when I used date covers like this was take a piece of washi tape and just run it underneath the whole thing and then put the date covers on top of that. And I just love how that turns out. It's a hack that I recommend. And if you can hear the sirens in the background, it wasn't me. This week started as like another station stickers kit, and I added in the washi tape and everything from Simply Gilded. I will say I got a lot done this week. I really am not necessarily a big fan of how this looks. Like, I just feel like this is a little bit all over the place, which, you know, looking at my other weeks, it doesn't look much different, but something about this week, just I liked how pretty it was, but I was like, I feel like I'm not as productive as I should be, and maybe the easiest thing to do is blame it on my planner rather than, you know, me being lazy. This was a live drunk plan with me. I drew in the washi tape with the little eggplants I added with gel pen, did it with pen only, and even though I was drunk when I did a lot of this, I actually like how it turned out. I'm kind of amazed by that. It was the weekend of my kids' play at church. We didn't wind up going to see Star Wars, and we did add a Star Trek quote, "There are 4 lights up here," because I'm a Trekkie, not a Star Wars person. This week, aside from the summer holographic one earlier, this is my favorite color scheme thus far in this planner. I just love the soft like teal and lavender. I think it's so pretty. And they're actually very similar to each other. This is our last week with the kids. When they were on winter break this week, and I was doing Vlogmas this week, and I love how I used this divider to make the to-do list as also things to note stuff that was going on all week. And then this was the day I fell down and hurt my ankle. This was last week. So I didn't get a lot done over the weekend. I had to go to the play and do these things, but like I fucking hurt myself. This isn't even the play. This is the Christmas Eve service. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I was the service assistant with our minister on Christmas Eve, so I had to keep getting back up and down. And I was limping everywhere, and it was bad scene. My foot is doing better. It still hurts, but it's doing a lot better. But this day I couldn't put any pressure on it. And so it was a rough weekend trying to get through the holiday shit. I wound up just putting a lot of YouTube and Patreon and stuff on hold so that I could survive the weekend before my ankle started to heal. And then here is this week. Today I'm filming this, it is Wednesday. I haven't actually gone in and put stuff in for Wednesday yet. My husband and I spent the day of Christmas by ourselves. My kids were at their dad's. We're gonna be celebrating our Christmas with them this weekend. So we still have some time before that to finish shopping and all that. But we just chilled out. We actually went and saw The Greatest Showman again. My husband had not seen it yet, and I was like, I'd rather see that than Star Wars, honestly. And then this was my husband's birthday. We went out to dinner last night. Still haven't gone in with the rest of the week, but I'm liking these colors. I had January filled in with things yet, but I have not gone through and put my custody in for the rest of the year. And that is the first half of my July through June 2017-2018 planner. I hope you enjoyed looking at what I've done thus far this year. Have you managed to stay in one planner so far for either for the whole of 2017 or for the academic part of 2017? Let me know. I'd love to hear about it. And if you switch a whole bunch, I would like to hear what you're switching between, because I've tried that and it doesn't always work for me. I like the continuity of one, though I don't just use one, but that's for tomorrow's video. So yeah, let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.